So I had Buddy Hield over 12.5 points, Jalen Duren over 10.5 points, Grady Dick under offensive rebounds, Chris Paul over 8.5 assists, Anthony Davis under 12.5 rebounds, and then James Harden over 7 3-pointers attempt. So we cashed out the 6-man. I have multiple pictures of all the people in our Discord that were super hyped. It was a great day. I felt really happy to just see everyone cashing out with us.
The entry was 20, and what'd you win?
It was 20 and I won.
Wow. What's up, y'all? You got Ryan, the CEO of DubClub, here on the DubClub CEO Corner. I am joined by the CEO of SpadePrizePicks, Aidan. How are we doing?
Good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. So we did a quick interview with Aidan's buddy, Liam. They both go to school together. I'll let Aidan fill in the blanks, but we're moving into the next section of the CEO Corner interviewing process today with Aidan as our guest. Aidan, we were talking a little bit right before we jumped on about your background in sports. Tell me more about like what sports you played and how you wound up falling in love with sports and being a sports content creator CEO on DubClub.
Yeah, so my love for sports had to come from my mom, I'd say. I really, they put me into like softball when I was younger, baseball. I didn't like those too much. I then got put into basketball, played basketball throughout elementary school, middle school. My mom was my biggest supporter in that. She was always making sure that I was right, got the shoes and all the things I needed. And her and I, that was right when the Warriors were starting their about 2014 run. Mm-hmm. And me and my mom really found a love for sports, watching it together. The Warriors were always our thing. And that's what I think made me love sports, was that playing it myself as well as that connection I had with my mom watching basketball. So that's how I originally started loving sports. And then in high school, I stopped playing basketball because I stopped growing. And I switched.
What'd you cap out at?
Capped out at 5'9".
5'9", okay.
Capped out at 5'9", decided to switch to football, carry my talents somewhere else where it's a little bit more useful.
Take your talents from the court to the field.
Yep. So I ended up playing corner, and I had a great time. Played for about 3 years. Even when I moved high schools my senior year, I walked on my senior year at the new high school I was at. It was a great way to meet people. So during that challenging time, sports helped me as well, moving through different high schools. And that's really what gave me my original love of sports.
So you're from the Bay Area, right?
Correct. I'm from the East Bay Area.
Did you watch when the Warriors were making that playoff run, like the We Believe? Was that around the time that you were like a big fan of the Warriors?
Yeah, well, I would say that that's what made me become a big fan of the Warriors, because I didn't watch too much sports before that. I was still pretty young. Yeah. And I started to watch sports more consistently during then and really become a diehard Warriors fan. So I will say that I wasn't a Warriors fan before they were good. It's what them becoming good is what created my fan for the Warriors.
So I always wonder this with people that bet on sports a lot and give out advice. Like, do you avoid betting on the Warriors, or do you not care about that and you're taking spots where they come as
I don't
they
care
arise?
About that. I feel like some people do have the superstition that you can't touch your team. There is bias. Yeah. I do keep bias out of my picks. I'm not going to take Stephen Curry just because I think he's going to hoop tonight. If there is a good matchup for him, like there was last night, we took his over on 24.5 and he covered for us. But
he's playing well.
It's an analytical perspective. I definitely don't allow bias of my teams to play into how I'm betting.
Do you have any spots where you're just avoiding? Like, for example, the Chicago Bears. Like, never bet on the Chicago Bears.
I wouldn't say there's a certain team that I avoid. There is a certain type of prop that I try to avoid, which is longest props. That's going to be like longest reception, longest rush, stuff like that. Yeah. Longest pass, stuff like that. I try to avoid those. I feel like that's too specific.
Yeah, I agree. And it's I don't know if the risk is worth the potential reward, because the risk is very high with those. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, cool. All right, so let's jump straight in. Talk to me about, every great entrepreneur has a founding story, and it always started somewhere. Yeah. Like Amazon, Jeff Bezos started on Wall Street. Yeah. Steve Jobs started Apple with Steve Wozniak out of a garage. What's the SpadePrizePicks founding story, and when did this start?
Definitely. I will say it's quite a humble story. It's nothing the same as Wall Street, but
one day it could be. You never know. I bet Jeff Bezos was saying that like a year into Amazon. It's like, it's a little bit humble.
Yeah. For me, it started during my freshman year of college. I was involved in I obviously loved sports. And what happened was I was in a math class and we were doing a lot of study sessions, and everyone around me including myself, had PrizePicks. And we were all trying to make bets, and I was noticing that a lot of people around me were making really bad bets, losing a ton of money, being pretty uneducated, kind of just guessing on what they think is going to happen. And that's what kind of gave me the original idea that I could do something with the sports betting and be knowledgeable about it and provide value to people. And when I first came up with the idea, I was sitting in my apartment room, and I thought I was the first person to ever come up with the idea of giving away picks on like the internet. So I thought I had this crazy idea. I thought I was the first person to come up with it. I quickly learned that it was a saturated space, which is when I had to start putting in the work to make a name for myself. So that's how my origin story was. It really was just seeing around me how people were making uneducated decisions. In this case, it was college freshmen, and taking that and turning it into the idea that I could provide value to these people.
Do you feel like the people in that math class were receptive to the idea of taking advice from someone else?
I do think so, because I would tell them how I'm doing my work and finding, at that time, it's not the same as the lab process.
Yeah, but walk me through, like, what was your pitch to someone in your math class back in the day?
So, for example, you got guys that are freshmen in college, they're putting like their part-time job money on six mans and just hoping that they turn it into like $800 for the quick money. And I would obviously tell them that's not the most efficient way to sports bet. You're not going to hit a six-man parlay, if you're not good. And so I would tell them first to just start doing two mans on PrizePicks. That's obviously the most simple way to go about it.
Start small.
Yeah, start small. Also, I taught them bankroll management, which is something I preach a lot to my VIP DubClub, because you have to, for a long-term gambling approach, you have to have proper bankroll management. Yeah. So it was introducing those concepts to the people around me. I definitely think it was received well.
So bankroll management, define that to me, and do it and try to do it in numbers so I have a good sense of it.
Yeah, easily. So bankroll management is taking your bankroll in your account or spread accounts. So say I have PrizePicks, I have Chalkboard, I have Underdog. Say I have a combined $3,000 in those accounts.
Yep.
You're going to divide that into specific units and only play that amount. So for example, I say that a unit is 1% of your bankroll.
Yep.
So if you have $10,000, you're going to be betting $10 on every bet. And if I say one unit, that's a $10 play. If I say two units, that's a $20 play. And obviously that is different for everybody based on how much you have to bet. And that makes it easy so that anyone can follow how much I'm putting on it. So if someone's a $5 unit better, I'm not telling them to just go put $100 on something, on a play. Even if I think it's a great play, I usually put one unit on every play, and that ensures that long term, even if you lose a unit, the next play you hit, you get back 3, and you long term will make profit.
How did you learn bankroll management?
I learned bankroll management from experience. I definitely didn't do that myself.
Experience as in like losing a lot and realizing, oh shoot, I need to figure out how to be disciplined.
But I learned that you can't make bets with just random amounts.
Yep.
Like I can't put $20 on a bet and cash it today and then put $60 on the next and just expect for that to keep rolling. You got to it's pretty much a discipline thing.
Yep. So do you think that takes the fun out of it for people? Like the guys in your math class, the guys and girls, I guess, does that take the fun out of it for them when they have to be a bit more structured and disciplined? Or do you think that it actually elongates the amount of time they can spend over the foreseeable future betting because they don't lose as much money?
I think that it shouldn't take away the fun out of it, because if anything, it's making you bet smarter, and it's actually not guaranteeing you, but it's ensuring that you have a better chance at making profit. Yeah. And I don't think it's fun if you're losing. Yeah. So I'd hope that they're having more fun betting if they're actually making consistent gains.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. So you had this spark, this market opportunity, which is what that's kind of a cool way to frame it. How you thought through what happened was really was like you're founding a company and you found a problem first, which is that people around you were betting in an uneducated manner and therefore losing a lot of money.
Yep.
So how did you turn that idea, that problem, into a business and an opportunity that now you've been building on for over a year and a half?
Yeah. So this was in about September of 2023. So a little over a year ago now. And what I first started doing was I would make my picks in the morning, and then I would make an Instagram video and a TikTok video. I put that on the internet. And at first it did not do well. At first you'd get maybe 10, 20 views.
Okay.
Pretty discouraging, but with consistency and posting every single day, as well as creating a name for myself through wins, it created a following for me. And as I was able to increase that reach, I eventually realized that what I'm doing is legit and that I can actually provide value to a lot of people if I continue on the path I was doing. And at first it was really something for fun. I really enjoyed it. It was almost, I've enjoyed content creation my whole life. I even I had a couple of YouTube channels when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah. So I've always
What were you doing on those YouTube channels?
It was mainly gaming. I was like gaming, playing games and stuff like
like
that.
streaming. Yeah.
And then I also did a little bit of fitness influencing when I was my freshman year of college as well.
Right on.
Yeah, but that didn't carry on as much as I'd like it to. So here we are today with the sports content.
Yeah.
And I'm happier than ever with it.
Yeah. You bounced around a couple different entrepreneurial pursuits and then landed on the one that was meant for you.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like pretty regimented schedule for posting. Definitely. And that for you is like the marketing, right? So to translate this in business terms, as you think about like your SpadePrizePicks in your business, what is the creation of content? Is that just like marketing? Is that to generate awareness? What's the point behind it? The
creation of content is one to put my brand out there. So I want to drive more people to join my DubClub. So when I put out a video, I put out 2 picks. So it's like a parlay on PrizePicks, a 2-man parlay. And I'll give out my 2 picks on an Instagram video with a voiceover and what I like about them. And when those do cash, it incentivizes people to join the DubClub either with a free trial or from then they already have the money to pay for a month subscription from one cash. So that's the true point of putting out content. It's just to create reach.
Yeah. And you just like, it's also because you want people to get to know you, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Also, I do have a couple videos where it's just my face or it's like me after a big win. And I'll be like, what's going on, guys? We just cashed this out. I'm going to be giving away a free week trial. And it's me and being personable with my audience. And you got to create a connection with your audience as well.
Yeah. So how, we've talked a little about the founding, but where are you at now in terms of, let's talk followers across different socials.
Yeah.
What does the follower base look like for SpadePrizePicks?
Yeah, so I'm at about 8,000 on Twitter. I'm actually not quite at 8K, but I'm getting close to it. I'm sure I'll be at 8K by like end of a week. I'm at about 4,000 on Instagram, and I have combined over 12K between 2 TikTok accounts.
Nice. That's awesome. So full footprint, like over 25K.
Yeah, definitely. And I like having the multiple platforms. TikTok has fallen off because they are cracking down on gambling content.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I think mainly one, because their servers are owned in China and China strictly prohibits gambling. And so they really crack down on gambling content on TikTok. I've already gotten multiple strikes and emails that my account's going to get taken away, stuff like that. Yeah. So it makes it hard to create content on TikTok. Also, back in the day, live streams on TikTok were going crazy, but it's a little harder now with their strict gambling rules. I think that could change going forward in the future, depending on how they handle TikTok. But Instagram is also a very good place to put content out that I think is unsaturated currently. Yep. So that's why I like Instagram.
Love it. Okay, great. Talk to me through your day to day.
Yeah.
You're a student in school.
Yep. Busy
how
life.
how do you regiment your day?
Yeah, so it's important to have a set routine for me. When I first started doing DubClub, I think I was becoming stressed out because I didn't have a set schedule. So what I do now is I have a weekly planner, and at the beginning of every week, I go through the week, see what I need to do in my school life. I write that down. And then I write down my plans for every single day with my DubClub content. Now, most of the time, what that looks like is I will wake up at about 6 or 7 in the morning, get up, get my coffee, walk my dog, and then get into my room, go and start making my content. Most of the time, I already have picks locked in because I do my research the night before when lines open. So I'll have a couple spots that I like already. Say I have four picks sent out to the DubClub. I'll pick my favorite 2 and make a video for them. So then once I'm done with my video, I'll usually go to a class after eating breakfast. Then
what time do classes start for you?
I've got a class at 10 and a class at 2. So that's usually like wake up at 6 a.m., get my work in, get my coffee. Then by 10 a.m., I'm at school. And then often me and Liam are meeting up at the library after our classes to go over picks for a couple hours as well.
Hit the lab.
Yeah, so we'll meet up on like Tuesday to lab up for the entire NFL slate, stuff like that. We get into
how long of that? How long of an afternoon is that? How many hours?
We spend hours at the library. I think the longest lab session we've ever had was like 4 hours and just one sit down at the library.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's at least 2 hours. Like we really put a lot of time into it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's also just a little bit of a debrief time for us to kind of talk about what's going on in our own lives with the DubClub stuff and kind of work around, see what each other are doing that's working, and just improve on ourselves. It's a great time to kind of get dialed in.
Yep. So that's pretty structured. So you wake up 6 to 7, walk the dog, get a coffee, hit the room, get your plays going, get your mind right for the day, go to class. What do you do in between class, 10 and 2 p.m.?
So in between classes, if I can, I'll hit the gym. If I'm hungry, I'll go home and eat a real quick lunch.
Yep.
And then sometimes we do just go to the library in that time. So that's what that's looking like. And then sometimes I have that 2 p.m. class. I'll go to that. I'm actually missing that today. But all
right, you're getting the real world business experience down here.
Yep. But after that, that's usually like kind of my day slows down then. At that point, I've already had like all my picks sent out for the day. I've got all my content out on both IG, Twitter, TikTok. And at that point, I can kind of take care of my own stuff. So I'll do homework. I'll do maybe some errands that I have to run. And then I can usually watch a game or two at night if I'm free to watch the game. If not, I'll cook dinner, spend some time with my girlfriend. That's about what I do in a daily life.
How do you, there's a lot of stuff related to SpadePrizePicks in your day-to-day. How do you prioritize? It sounds like there's SpadePrizePicks, which is the business that you're CEO of. There's school. There's your girlfriend. There's your dog. There's you. How do you prioritize those things maybe top to bottom?
I'll be honest. It sucks to say, but school's pretty low down there just because I'm smart enough in school where I believe that I am going to graduate with no ease with the level of work I'm putting into it right now.
So for you, you're just focused on, I want to get through it. I want to graduate.
That is, I'll be honest.
I don't need to be a straight A student.
Yeah. And I'm still I got Dean's List even while doing DubClub last semester.
Wow.
So I'm doing well academically, even with the smaller amount of time that I'm putting into school currently.
Yep.
But if I was to rank those, I would say DubClub probably in making my community and providing the most value to them is my number one priority. After that, I would say it's myself because I think that when you don't prioritize your own health, you lose track of a lot of things. And also, I feel like mental health is very important. You got to be sharp. And if you're super stressed out, not feeling right, you just can't perform at your highest level.
Yep.
So that's why I do prioritize myself second. I try to make sure to get into the gym at least 4 times a week. I mean, actually, that's probably about 4 times a week, about the average I go. But then being healthy, being fit is really important to me. Health is wealth, in my opinion. And also just keeping my brain sharp is really important, in my opinion. So I would say then it's me, then it's my girlfriend, and then it's my dog, and then it's school.
There you go. Okay, good. How do you keep yourself sharp? Like what kind of mental health practices or priorities do you have in your day-to-day or week-to-week?
When I say mental health, I just mean keeping myself happy and making sure that I'm taken care of. So when I say that,
this can be a grind too. I mean, you post a video a day or multiple videos a day, and you see as you started, you get 10 to 20 views. That's a grind. That's not going to turn into dollars and cents.
Exactly.
So you got to keep it going, and that can be really taxing.
Yeah, and definitely to do this job, you have to have thick skin for sure, and a work ethic above a lot of people, in my opinion.
Yep. When you say do this job, you mean be an entrepreneur, be a CEO?
Yeah, being an entrepreneur, running the business that I'm running. And I'm sure you understand as an entrepreneur yourself, it takes a higher level of commitment and work ethic than what a lot of things take. So it definitely is important to keep your mind sharp during that and make sure that you are also taken care of because it's easy to get lost in the work. I feel like I sometimes work so much, I just work my wheels off.
Yep.
So to keep my mind sharp throughout that, I journal. I will journal every day a couple things I'm thankful for. I'll journal a couple things that I feel like I need to improve on. If there's something serious going on in my life, I will talk about that in my journal, talk about if I can control it. If I can't, how can I do my best to maneuver through it? And then I'll put my goals for the day. So I like having daily goals and I like having monthly goals and then I like having long-term goals. And putting those down in paper in front of me makes me feel like my mind is sharper. And it keeps it in front of my face, and I think writing it down makes it happen more.
How did you come up with that process?
I think it took experience. I think I came up with that process because I felt so lost in the beginning where I was so stressed out. I felt the way I can best describe it is I felt all over the place.
Yeah.
I had school here, business here, family here, girlfriend here. and I needed to balance it all correctly.
Yeah.
And I found that writing it all down and putting everything I needed to do for that day in one box allowed me to easily maneuver through it. And I feel much better now. I feel like I have a great flow.
Yeah. You know what that's called? There's a type of anxiety that's related to. It's loss of control anxiety.
Yeah, and I completely understand it.
Yeah. And it's like when I think a lot of people don't necessarily fully realize, but when you feel like things are out of control in your life, that's what causes stress and anxiety.
And the writing it down in the morning could be just my way of taking control of my day.
Exactly.
Saying, I need to do this. I'm thankful for this. I want to do this, and let's get it done.
Yep. I am choosing to do this.
Yeah.
That's a big part. I think a lot of people, when they feel like, oh man, I feel like things are out of my control. It's like, well, start choosing things that you would like to do.
Yeah, definitely.
And set goals and work backwards from that.
Yeah. So journaling is one of the best things, in my opinion, that's helped me keep my mind sharp.
Are there days where you miss a journaling session? And if so, how do you think you make up for that or work backwards from getting back to speed?
It's not like it's a necessity. If I miss a day, I miss a day. It's not the biggest deal. I think just getting to it when I need it or when I feel like I need to do it to help me plan is what matters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. All right. So we talked a little with Mailman Locks about his betting strategy and his approach.
Yeah.
You specialize in a different area in terms of sports. I know we're going to talk a little about NBA and MLB in particular.
Yeah.
But in terms of your approach to the board and your approach to giving out the advice to your DubClub subscribers and your general following on social media, how do you get from A to Z, where A is you're taking first look at the data and Z is you're actually giving the information out?
Yeah, definitely. So I do all three sports. I do feel thankful for that because there's always a sport in season that I can do well with.
Yep.
And my process going into that is pretty similar to Mailman's. We also do go over a lot of the same lines together when we're at the library together. But I will say a few things that I think I will do different is I like to look at the slate beforehand and just look at the teams playing and get a mental picture of what matchups I can see being favorable before I head into the data. Then once I'm in the data, I'll take a look at the people that I was taking a look at. So if I'm targeting a center against Washington who allows centers to eat, that's a good place to start. You then will go into it. You'll look at stuff like potential rebounds, stuff like the inside metrics, like Mailman said, is what matters the most. And I just take a very data-centric approach to it, as well as trying to secure the best value, like he also said. You can do stuff like line shopping, where you'll have one book, say PrizePicks has Trae Young assist at 12, but you can get him at 11.5 at plus money on FanDuel. That's obviously where you're going to want to take it. I will advise everyone that is going to play that line to play at the best value they can. And by that, I'm showing every one of my subscribers where they can get the best lines for my plays. So it's a pretty similar approach in terms of what we both do. We both stay up really late. We both get up really early, and we're always looking at lines. I feel like I always am just passively looking at what's going on in the market.
How late is late for staying up late at night?
For me, I would say that is probably only 1 a.m. for me. I know Liam. Yeah, Liam is the late night demon, and I'm the early morning guy. I'll sometimes be up at like 5 a.m. But for some reason,
going to bed at 1?
No, so I sometimes shut down when I'm tired. So I sometimes can't stay up that late. So if I'm not doing the late night lab, I'm up at like 5 a.m. doing it.
Yep.
So basically, I get it in when I can. With a college schedule, obviously my day-to-day is pretty fluent. So when I have a time where I'm able to stay up, I'm not tired, I'll usually stay up and then maybe sleep until like 8 or 9 the next morning. And then if I can't stay up, I will go to bed early and then wake up at about 5 a.m. and do my lab work.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you're up late.
Yeah.
Getting the plays in.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because in our Discord, I see sometimes so if I go to bed early and I wake up early to do my work, I'll see that Liam was up till like 2 in the morning. There's picks out, and then I wake up and I start firing mine. See, the DubClub subs will wake up and see like 6 picks from us out from all overnight, and we were just doing work all night. So it's kind of cool.
You guys have the same Discord, or you contribute to each other's?
We're in the same server, so our like community like interacts with each other, but we have our own channels that we send our separate picks in.
That's right. Yeah, you guys are both owners of the server, but each of you, when you publish, or when you post, it gets sent to the Spade Prize Pick server, and then his will get sent to the Mailman Locks. That's really interesting. So I can subscribe to either of you guys, interact with other members of the community, but really only care about your plays.
Yeah, and we have multiple subs that sub to both of us, and we even provide sometimes a little discount if they do want to sub to both of us, just because we provide value to everyone. We both also do different things sometimes. He does a lot of straights, so.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is if I'm a subscriber, well, I'm a consumer, like and I am, like I'm betting all the time. I bet on PrizePicks. Why would I subscribe to you versus Liam?
Well, I can't even give you a good reason. I'd honestly have to tell you to subscribe to both of us because the plays are too good. But I will say if you...
Good answer. If you subscribe to both, technically you guys should both be making them money, so it would be worth it, right? Yeah, it's like a return on your investment is positive.
Yeah, but if you're getting down into the niche specifics, I do definitely do only DFS apps. So I make strictly 2-mans. I don't do 3-mans. I don't do 4-mans. I do a 6-man Flex Friday because PrizePicks does the protected. You get $20 back on a 6-man if it loses. If it cashes, you get like 900.
That's on Fridays or
on Fridays? Yeah. If you look
Friday,
every Friday, if you look on your PrizePicks, you can get a $20 protected play. So if you want to put that on a 3-man, it's $20 a 60. But I usually just make it a 6-man since it's a protected play, and it turns into $875. And we recently cashed out one of those.
So they're giving you $20 to play with.
Yep.
And they let you keep the winnings, but you don't have to worry about the losings.
Nope. If it loses, you get your $20 back.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's definitely.
Can you put more than $20 on it?
No, not on the protected play. So if you put more, you won't get your money back.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So one thing that I do specifically is DFS apps. So if you were a sub looking for only DFS, then I might be a better option for you. Whereas if you're a sub looking for straights only, then Mailman might be a better option for you. Yeah. That's one thing. One specific thing. However, we often end up running similar plays. Like I'll have one of his picks in my parlay anyways. So we symbiotically post picks that are going to benefit everyone.
Yeah. And it sounds like in addition to some of the research that you've been collaborating with Mailman on and maybe some other people, you've collaborated with other people in the industry with regards to like marketing opportunities and getting yourself out there and making sure people are aware of your brand. Yeah, can you talk about some of those strategies with regards to like the actual awareness generation for SpadePrizePicks?
Definitely, yeah. So collabing with other cappers on Twitter, especially other DubClub cappers, is a great way to grow awareness. I always love doing collabs with other people. Me and Mailman will do collabs on Twitter a lot as well. That just helps other people get
What does a collab mean? Like explain it to an audience member. A collab on Twitter
or a collab on a prop basically means that we both agree on a prop that we like. We do a write-up together. We make sure that all of our stats are correct, that we like what we're seeing, we're putting out good info, and you put that prop out for the public eyes to see, and then write it out with everyone. And if it cashes, obviously you both do get the benefits.
Yep.
Yeah, so
that's really interesting.
Really simple. It's just basically creating content with the posting and tagging each other.
Yeah. Win more together. Back to the DubClub mission. Help more people win more together.
DubClub cappers as well.
Yeah. Why is that? They just know what they're talking about, or they're just good people.
Obviously, anyone working for DubClub is a stud. So I always like to hear their opinions, and I really do think that anyone I've talked to has been really, really sharp. And so it's always a pleasure to just talk to other people that are also working for DubClub and collab with them.
Yeah, and just like terminology clarification, because it's really interesting. Like working for DubClub, interesting. You guys are building your business on DubClub.
Yeah, it actually isn't working for DubClub because it's almost like we work for each other almost. Because you
work for your business, right? You're working for SpadePrizePicks. Yeah. And the way I view it is, you're like similar how I'm the CEO of DubClub. I'm working for DubClub.
Yeah.
You're working for SpadePrizePicks, building your business on DubClub, but you're the CEO of SpadePrizePicks, and you could technically have other team members working for SpadePrizePicks one day.
I do look at myself as the CEO of SpadePrizePicks. I treat it like a company that I'm running because I am.
Yeah, you are.
I treat every single
buck stops with you.
Yeah, I treat every consumer I have as if I treat them to the highest priority because they are the reason that I'm able to do what I'm doing.
Yep.
So providing value to my consumers is the number one priority.
An interesting term you used a couple times is capper. What does capper mean to you?
Capper is anyone that's putting their picks out with research behind it and just trying to ask people to basically tail them. If you're putting out your gambling advice on the internet, you're a capper.
Do you view yourself as a capper? Or do you view yourself and maybe Mailman Locks and as something more than that? Maybe like a sports content creator or a sports content creator CEO. Like how do you think about that?
I think that in the end of the day, we are both cappers because we both are doing what a capper does by putting in research, putting out our plays to an audience, and they're following our plays.
Yeah.
But it is more than that. We are sports content creators and we are business owners. So it is not just capping.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So the role you play is being a capper, giving people advice and giving them your plays that are well researched. But the job you have is technically a CEO because you're running the business.
Yeah, we are running the business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting way to kind of think about things.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's a good way to look at it as you're the CEO because you are. So you're running. I'm the CEO of SpadePrizePicks, and I'm trying to do the best for SpadePrizePicks that I can.
Exactly. And when you're collaborating with other people who are affiliated with DubClub, they are CEOs of their brand on DubClub, like CEO of Sriracha, DFS, CEO of Chili Bets.
Yes, sir.
The beauty is they partnered with DubClub to take their business to the next level.
Yep.
Yeah. So moving to a different topic than business building and more on the your product offering. Yeah. We talked a little about your betting strategies and how you approach a slate and how you approach like NBA in particular and hit the lab, every Tuesday for hours at a time.
It's not just Tuesdays. It's almost every day.
Every day. Yeah. And it sounds like some days longer than others, up to 4 hours. Yeah. What are some of the biggest wins that you've cashed since founding SpadePrizePicks a year and 2 months ago?
Yeah, definitely. So we just had one recently. Like I mentioned to you, we had that PrizePicks Flex Friday cash. I still have it in my recent.
What were the numbers again? And do you remember the slip who you put together?
I'll pull it up real quick because I have it right here in my camera roll because I was so hyped about it. So it was Buddy Hield over. This was the same night he cashed his. I had his. We were in the lab for that one. And
Buddy Hield was one of the legs. That's awesome.
I had his two of his picks that also cashed him out big in mine. So I had Buddy Hield over 12.5 points. We've got Jalen Duren over 10.5 points. That's what hit him for a 3K.
Yep.
And then after that, I had Grady Dick under offensive rebounds. Detroit gave up the least offensive rebounds in the league. He's a guard. He's always on the perimeter. He was not going to get one. We had Chris Paul over 8.5 assists. High line, but he ended up getting 11. The sweatiest prop was Anthony Davis under 12.5 rebounds. Ooh. It was a great matchup with him going up against Wemby that also forces him to go to the perimeter since he's an outside shooter a lot.
Yep.
And so I loved the read, and he had 5 at half. And then in the third quarter, he caught 4 offensive rebounds back to back to back to back. And I thought
so you're looking at 3 and you're over.
Yeah. So basically 3 more were over. So fourth quarter, he got 3. He ended at 12. So I needed under 12.5. So we cashed that one. And then James Harden over 7 3-pointers attempt. That was the night he was going for his record of the most three, or surpassing someone for threes. I forget who. And he ended up shooting 9. So we cashed out the 6-man. And I have plenty of screenshots of our members reacting. And this was the first time that the Discord was big enough to where we have an actual big community sweating it out with us.
Yep.
In the past, it was a little bit smaller. I wasn't as big yet. But this was the biggest one yet. And I have multiple pictures of all the people in our Discord that were super hyped, sending slips. Some people didn't even put the $20 max on it. Some people just played like $50 on it. And at that point, they're making over like 1,250. So it was a great day. I felt really happy to just see everyone cashing out with us. It was a great day myself. It was a great day for Mailman. We were on FaceTime screaming at each other. But yeah, it was a great day. That was my most recent biggest cash. And then when I can look back at it, I know I had a 6-man college football correlation slip that hit not too long ago.
Yep.
That one was also good. When it's not just a 6-man, because that obviously has great returns, and I don't do them too often, like I said earlier, because I only do it when we have protected plays, because I'm not going to send out a 6-man and tell everyone to put a unit on it. But I do 2-mans, and I don't have a huge unit size being a college student. However, anyone that's betting $100 on any slip I send out is making $300 per cash, and we're up over 200 units in the last year.
Wow.
All time.
Wow. Okay. All right. So back to the NBA slip last Friday on it's Flex Friday.
Yeah. So it's Flex Friday. Yeah.
What was the entry? Was 20, and what'd you win?
It was 20, and I won 875.
Wow. What'd you do with that 875?
I paid my rent with it, and then I put the rest into investments, like E-Trade.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Anything worthwhile investing in for the audience that you think you're looking at in E-Trade?
I can't. It's a little bit too late, but I bought MSTR at $30, and they then hit a huge. I forget their high. They stock split, and they're now. It was a 10-to-1 stock split, and what I have 800% return on investment in MSTR.
Wow.
All time. But yeah, anything I
What
would
is
say
MSTR? What company is that? What do they do?
they're basically a Bitcoin bank. So they own the most Bitcoin
Wow.
out of any company in the world. And with Bitcoin going up to 90K now, their
Yep.
stock has absolutely surged. So basically they want to act as a Bitcoin bank. They want to own the most Bitcoin in the world and eventually use it as a bank where they like lend out Bitcoin and do stuff like that. That's basically what
So they're just
MSTR is.
buying up a bunch of Bitcoin, or
Yeah.
because it's not like cash where you can produce more cash. There's
Yeah.
only so much
But
out there, Bitcoin.
if I were to tell a average person what to invest in, I would say QQQ. It's
Just an index, or
yeah, it's an index, and it's a index that's focused on the future and AI and stuff like that. And just today they're up like over 7%, so that's really
wow,
good for
geez.
a ETF.
I see that commercial all the time.
Yeah, QQQ is the place to go. I love QQQ. They're also super heavily invested they're invested in AI, they're invested in crypto, they're invested in medical advancements. So a lot of stuff that I think will be very beneficial going into the future.
So
QQQ.
you took that 20 from the Flex Friday, it hit 875, and then you rolled some of that into rent and into the stock market.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that diversification. No wasted dollars from these winners.
Definitely not, man. Yep.
Extremely efficient.
Yeah.
Love
Leaves me
it.
taking profit for the month too. With now that my rent's paid, like I pay for my college and rent. That's everything. And so
Yeah, everything after that is gravy.
Yep.
So then, what the 6-man college football correlation play?
Yeah.
What does that entail? When you say correlation, what do you
Yeah.
mean? And then what was the entry and what'd you win?
Yeah, so that's actually a very popular approach to betting in certain sports, specifically football. And the correlation means that you say you have two teams, you have a high game total, you think it's going to be a shootout. I know it wasn't a shootout, but let's say the most recent Bills versus Chiefs game.
Yep.
We always know those are always intense. So if you are able to read the script correctly and you know that it's going to be a shootout, or you can do it oppositely and take unders. But if it's going to be a shootout, basically I would take Patrick Mahomes over pass touchdown. Then I would take Travis Kelce over fantasy score because I think he's going to get a lot of receptions and possibly that touchdown from Mahomes, which correlates. And then also add another receiver in there. Or you can do pass yards. So like Mahomes pass yards, Xavier Worthy pass yards, Travis Kelce pass yards.
Yep.
And then pair it with Josh Allen pass yards, Dawson Knox pass yards, Keon Coleman pass yards. So you've got a 6-man on PrizePicks that has a fixed payout, and you're getting more value out of that because if the game goes according to script, and if Patrick Mahomes does pass for over his passing yards, there is a good chance that his receivers are going to be going over on their receiving yards.
Yep.
So once you read the script correctly and it goes according to plan, those can be very profitable. And there are some people in the space that build their entire brand off of strictly correlation slips because it can be a very profitable way to do it. Unfortunately, the books have started to catch on to it. The PrizePicks specifically has changed the payout. So when they notice you're doing correlation, they're paying you less now. But it used to be a standard fixed payout, which had a lot of value in it. So that's correlation. You can also do unders there, like Tua under, Tyreek under, for example.
Yeah, it goes either way, over, under. Yeah. And then the college football ticket that you cashed, what did that look like?
So that was an all overs, and that was it went to OT, which obviously helps for all overs.
Do you remember the teams?
I don't. I think it was ISU.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty sure ISU was one of them. This was a while back.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I remember though it cashed on an overtime 50-yard catch.
Wow.
From the receiver that I needed like 45 yards from.
That's incredible.
So it was a
one and done.
Yeah,
just to get it in. Yeah.
That was some great wins recently.
Yeah. Well done. All right, cool. Let's move in. You mentioned a lot about like basketball, and I know you specialize in MLB.
Yeah.
So I've got some hot takes for you, and I want to do some rankings in terms of historical players and where they stack up.
Alrighty.
So I want to start with basketball first, the NBA. Rank from number 5 to number 1 who you think were the best three-point shooters in history.
Oh, man. I honestly don't even know if I could give you the answers to this.
Do you want to do current?
Yeah, I could do current.
Yeah.
Okay, current best three-pointer shooters?
Yeah.
All right. You already know Stephen Curry is going in at number 1.
Okay.
I think after that, one guy specifically this year, Jalen Green. Jalen Green has been chucking threes. Then LaMelo Ball.
Okay.
He's been inconsistent, but he's chucking. Let's see here. 3-point shooter. Brunson's been up there. He can do it all, but when he's shooting threes, he looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Huerter. the Kings legend, Kevin Huerter. He's a 3-point shooter.
Wow. All right. And is that 1 to 5 or 5 to 1? How would you rank those?
It's just off my mind. It's not ranked.
Okay. An unranked version. I love it. That's good. Those are 5 good shooters. A couple of wild cards in there. I like it. So do you want to? So do you want to do baseball? Do you want to do this? Choose historical or current? What do you prefer?
Let's do current.
Okay. Give me in your opinion, the top 5 power hitters. Doesn't have to be based off stats in terms of number of home runs, but top 5 power hitters in Major League Baseball, 5 to 1. I want the last one.
Number 1 has got to be Luis Arias from San Diego Padres. That guy has absolute insane numbers. He's also rarely strikes out, and when he hits the ball, he has an average exit velo that's insane. It's usually all above 120. So he's got to be number 1, and I've got to go Bobby Witt at number 2. Okay. Bobby Witt was huge this year. Number 3, Juan Soto. He's going to be a big name this offseason. I'm expecting him to get a $600 to $700 million contract. He's actually meeting with the Dodgers tomorrow, too, which is crazy to me. But after Juan Soto, I've got to go with Brent Rooker. I'm a big A's fan. Yeah. Brent Rooker was electric this year, and he is a power hitter. Number 5, who would I put at number 5? This is ranked, by the way. This is 1 to 5. So for last, I would have to say I'm going to give it to Shohei at number 5. In terms of power, he's up there. He's clutch, but I wouldn't give him number 1.
Fair.
Yeah, maybe get some hate for that.
We're going to flip the script and ask, who are 5 pitchers you just would not want to face?
Oh, jeez. Okay, this is good. I like this one. Number 1, I wouldn't want to face Tarek Skubal, Detroit Tigers pitcher. He is a mean pitcher. I like pitchers that are super aggressive. They're just mean guys on the mound. Just want to be there to bully the hitters. I would not want to face Tarek Skubal because he's that guy. After that, it'd probably be Paul Skeens. He's coming in hot.
Yeah.
After that, Garrett Cole from the Yankees. I know he didn't look good at all in the World Series, but he's still obviously an all-star. After that, let me think here. Hold on. I had a
check the rankings in the app.
No, I have it right here. Chris Sale. That's the other one I had on my mind. I couldn't remember it. Chris Sale. I wrote this down a little earlier. And Logan Webb.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan Webb at home is a dangerous animal.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
All right, last question of the podcast because it's recent with the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
Would you fight Mike Tyson now at 58 years old?
I don't think I would, just because that was sad to watch. It was sad to watch 58-year-old Mike Tyson get beat on. I mean, I know he's getting his bag, but it wasn't fun to watch, and I wouldn't want to do it myself either. I don't think I would. But
do you think you could beat him?
No, I don't think so. Maybe if I had a contract like they did, maybe if it was fixed, yeah.
See, that was the other question: is if you were Mike Tyson, and there's a lot of rumors going around with the situation that the contract stipulated.
Yeah.
But if you were Mike Tyson and you were given that money for making it, given more money for making it 8 rounds.
Yeah.
How would you feel about taking that fight with Jake Paul?
If I was Mike Tyson, I think I'd feel pretty good about it. I'd be $20 million richer. So.
But do you think that I guess for me, it's like, you're going into a fight with Jake Paul. Do you think that Mike Tyson actually thought he could win, or he just thought, oh, this is an easy way for me to get through, 2 minutes times 8 rounds, 16 minutes of fight?
It's hard to truly say if you went into that fight with the intentions of beating him because it didn't look like it.
It didn't look like it.
So
I've seen some memes where it shows that Tyson could have popped Jake Paul in the face. Jake Paul's like tapping the right. Remember the specific meme. The media team will find it.
Yeah.
Jake Paul is tapping his right cheek with his glove, leaving the left one just open, and Tyson's winding up with his right hook to pop him, and he just lets it go. It's like, what are you doing?
I do personally believe it was fixed. I also saw the contract that you can't. Maybe it wasn't specifically fixed where they're like, okay, Jake Paul's for sure winning. But if you see the contract, he was told to not knock out Jake Paul. If he did, he would lose money, and he was told to go the distance, and he was told that he would get paid more if Jake Paul won. So it's a money incentive that's underlying what was going on. So I do believe that is fixing the game.
Do you think that Jake Paul and his team knew that contract would be seen by people?
I don't know. That's actually a great question. And if they didn't think so and it did all of a sudden now come out, that could be some controversial stuff going down there.
Yeah, I mean, because there you literally have it laid out in plain view that the incentives were backwards, and then therefore for people that are there to get the entertainment and pay a lot of money for those tickets.
It was a huge event.
Yeah, huge event. Such a disappointment for people, especially if it was all along not supposed to be competitive.
Yeah,
what a waste of money. I would want my money back. I want my money back from Netflix too. They crashed multiple times.
Garnered attention from people who don't even like fighting. Like my girlfriend and all her friends were like, "Let's watch the Jake Paul fight," and I'm like, "Yeah, like what's going on here?" Just so we'll all be disappointed.
I wonder if maybe that's the point. Like all of us that are really competitive, we're like, "Oh, this is a something we really want to see people get the shit beat out of them," and then the fans that don't typically watch, boxing, UFC, whatever. That was a chance for Jake Paul and his media halo, to bring all those people into it.
I was really hoping on the inside that I was going to be able to see a vintage Mike Tyson performance, but I knew realistically, being 58 years old, that's just not happening.
It's tough. It's retirement age.
58-year-old move around like they were when they were in their 20s.
No.
Yeah.
I wish we could replay and do like AI. Like in Star Wars where they have the hologram. It's like a Tyson hologram at 31 years old fighting Jake Paul at 27.
Seriously. I would have loved to see
that. Would have been out in the first 10 seconds. It's like,
because I'm pretty sure
he would have come out of the corner just swinging.
Yeah, because Mike Tyson's last actual fight, I was like 2 years old. So
that's incredible. Yeah. His last actual fight. This was not. I don't think an actual
I wouldn't even
fight.
Consider this an actual fight either. This was just a money grab.
Agreed. All right, Aidan, do you have any parting words, do you think, for the audience, for those that may want to be building their own sports content business in the future, taking after you? What advice would you have for them?
For anyone that's taking after me to build a sports content brand, transparency and consistency is number one. Consistency probably above all. Transparency is important, but you're not going to get to the point where you need to be transparent with your people if you don't have the consistency to grind to get to that point where you have the reach where you need to be transparent with your people. So there will be many, many, many days where you're beat down, but you have to have the thick skin and the work ethic to continue at it. You're going to have days where you make a video, it doesn't do well, doesn't even cash, but you know that long term, you're going to be providing value to these people, and you have to keep at it. So that's what I would say to anyone that is trying to start their own. And to anyone that is a supporter, I just have to say thank you, because anyone who's supporting DubClub is making this possible for me.
Amen to that. We win more together.
Yes, more together.
All right, Aidan, thanks for joining me on the CEO Corner. It's been a blast. We'll catch you next time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for listening.